Your body will begin to adjust to the cold. So next time that biting wind won't hit you in the face like a snowball. That's over 4,000 milligrams of sodium packed into one sitting. Here I have a piece of toilet paper provided by the university and a common brand of flushable wipe. When you run the toilet paper underwater, it starts to break apart pretty easily. I'm here in the Hickey dining hall with some cold, dried chicken. Still a common complaint among students. The flushable wipe, on the other hand, run it underwater, and it stays in one piece. Oh, didn't see you there. Should we just stick a fork in our executive board being able to make real change on campus? Did you know that aerobic exercises like running for just 30 minutes a day releases endorphins? A great way to reduce stress. All I said there was, "Hi, my name's Johnny." But do you see how left out someone might feel when people are communicating right in front of them and they have no idea what's being said? Each piece of a puzzle is different. No two pieces are quite the same. And when they all come together, they create something special. Dr. James says the same is true of diverse groups of people when they all decide to work together.
Johnny, good morning.
Thanks, Rich. And as you can see behind me, the Riley Center Court has a bit of a new look today. It's all set up for Spring in Nibanas. But what is Spring in Nibanas? It's an admissions event with about 250 prospective students expected to attend. For reference, last year, a similar number of students attended, and over 80% of them decided to enroll the following fall. Now, I spoke with Bonaventure's vice president for enrollment. He told me everything's pointing towards next fall's freshman class being even bigger than this year's was. And remember, this year's freshman class of 571 students was the largest in 20 years. Also, compared to this time last year, the number of visits, applications, and admissions to St. Bonaventure, they're all up 15%. That means along with an increase in enrollment, the university expects an increase in overall net revenue. However, the size of that expected increase isn't yet known. And last, but certainly not least, the university plans to enroll over 20% of its upcoming freshman class from historically underrepresented populations. That's all from Spring in Nibanas. Back to you, Rich.
I didn't believe deaf people can do anything, except here.
Meet Richie and Angela. Richie signs. Angela, his daughter, translates.
A lot more disabilities involved as well.
So I was born deaf.
But growing up, Richie's family never bothered to learn sign language.
And they'd be all talking all the time, and I'd be sitting there eating. I'd eat fast, then I'd be done, and I'd just sit there.
Parents of deaf children are often told to only encourage lip reading and verbal communication, something Richie lamented.
That was really tough.
All I said there was, "Hi, my name's Johnny." But do you see how left out someone might feel when people are communicating right in front of them and they have no idea what's being said?
Society didn't treat me well.
Richie applied for the same promotion at work 5 separate times.
At my job, they'd pick other people. They'd pick hearing people.
And 5 times, he was overlooked.
A lot of people look down on us and they think we're worthless. But each deaf person has the ability to be successful in hearing situations.
For SBU TV,
deaf people really want to be equal. They don't want to be lower than hearing people.
I'm Johnny Walker.
I'm like, that's how much sodium is in this sandwich. This is all day, you're supposed to have that much, and that's in one setting. So.
Freshen's Fresh Food Kitchen advertises itself as a healthy, fresh, casual concept offering better-for-you products. So do the recently added artisan melts live up to that promise? Well, nutritionist Marcy Higgs says when rating this one's healthiness on a scale of 1 to 10, she would.
I would probably give it like a maybe 3 or 4.
When eaten with the tomato dipper, all 5 artisan melts contain more than 100% of your recommended daily value of sodium.
Over time, continual high sodium intake is going to affect your blood pressure.
I just measured out my recommended daily intake of sodium. It's about 2,300 milligrams or 1 teaspoon of table salt. Now, one of Freshen's artisan melts with tomato dipper is nearly double that amount. That's over 4,000 milligrams of sodium packed into one sitting.
And then there's what Marcy calls the absurdly high calories.
Over time, a healthy way to do things is to spread your calories throughout the day.
One sandwich has as many as 1,200 calories, or more than half of a standard 2,000 calorie diet.
If your body gets overwhelmed with calories at any one sitting, it'll store it.
Marcy encourages everyone to read their food's nutrition labels.
Just because a company says it's healthy doesn't mean it is, and you should seek that out.
The nutrition facts for all of Freshen's items can be found on its corporate website. For SBU TV, I'm Jonny Walker. Muslims around the world observing Ramadan, a holy month in the Islamic religion marked by fasting, prayer, and community.
Traditionally, it's the month in which the Prophet Muhammad received the first revelation of the Quran.
Meet Father Michael. He runs St. Bonaventure's Center for Arab and Islamic Studies.
Students on campus, particularly during Ramadan, use the center as a quiet place.
One of those students is Hatter, president of Bonaventure's Muslim Students Association.
When we break our fasts, we break them together.
During Ramadan, observers consume no food or drink between sunrise and sundown, about 14 hours every day.
Everyone's fasting, which is hard, but everyone's in it together, and it creates a kind of like community bonding.
And despite having fewer than 24 members, the MSA remains strong.
And we kind of try to foster a community at St. Bonaventure with the MSA.
Now, if you visit the Center for Arab and Islamic Studies during the month of Ramadan, you might notice these words printed outside its door: Ramadan Mubarak. It roughly translates to Happy Ramadan. So if you know someone who celebrates Ramadan, don't be afraid to wish them a Ramadan Mubarak.
Muslims experience great joy. There's a lot of community time spent in prayer. And so people really feel like their faith life is rejuvenated.
Another member of MSA describes Ramadan as a time of great peace.
It's a time where you have no enemies, everybody's your friend. It's a time to show love.
For SBU TV, I'm Jonny Walker. It's a familiar scene for Western New Yorkers. Shovel off the sidewalk, brush the snow off your car. Start it up and let it run for a bit before driving off to work. But while many of us think we have winter weather all figured out, here's a few more tips and tricks to help you survive the colder months ahead. Before heading out on your morning commute, remember that
the weather where you are is not necessarily the weather you're going to drive into.
Never has that been more true than for drivers headed from the Olean area towards Buffalo this weekend, which could see up to 5 feet of snow.
Still shivering every time you step outside? Well, Time magazine says you might need to unzip the jacket and lose some layers. Your body will begin to adjust to the cold, so next time that biting wind won't hit you in the face like a snowball.
Have you considered taking a cold shower? Experts say turning that handle from hot to cold could help your body acclimate to the cold weather significantly faster. But no matter how comfortable you are with the winter weather, remember to remain cautious.
Slow down, be aware of the conditions, and be aware of other drivers around you.
The Department of Transportation says over 1,000 people die each year in car crashes on snowy, slushy, or icy pavement. For SBU TV, I'm Jonny Walker.